Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. This is Ghazala Amin with PRM 700 Advanced Project Management for MSPM. आज जो लेक्चर हम देने जा रहे हैं, pay a little bit more attention to it than other lectures. I'm hoping that you're paying attention to all of them, मगर इस पे ज़रा ज़्यादा देना होगा, इसलिए कि इस लेक्चर के बेस पे हम आपको असाइनमेंट देंगे. Assignment will be, it could be 10 to 15% of your total grade. तो ये है कि और एक और बात before we move on, इस वाले लेक्चर में हम आपको प्रोजेक्ट प्लान टेम्पलेट्स प्रोवाइड करेंगे. थोड़ा प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट प्लान की बात कर लें and then we will move on and emphasize the importance of some of these templates and also tell you exactly what kind of assignment will you be asked to provide to us. So what is a project management plan? It uses output from other planning processes to create a consistent and coherent document that can be used to guide both project execution and the project control. Planning phase में जो भी documentation हम produce करते हैं, that will be collection of several documents, and that group of documents will be used to guide us through the execution phase and through the monitoring and the control phase. Another example or definition will be the formal approved document used to manage and control project execution. Project plan must be revised, reviewed and revisited throughout the project and used as the axis around which all subsequent communications revolve. Project plan कोई चीज़ भी project management में static नहीं है. That means it's all dynamic. We continue to work through it, we continue to update it and monitor it ताकि any gaps and holes that a project manager or the project team or the sponsor sees is always taken back to the drawing board, उसको fix करें and then start using it with that improvised improvement. So based on that, a project plan can include but is not limited to the following documents. There could be many other documents depending on the organization, depending on the methodology that you use. No matter what kind of work you are doing within the planning phase, all the documentation that results out of it becomes part of your project plan group of documents. Project charter, obviously signed and completed in the initiation phase, is also part of your project plan. Your work breakdown structure. This should now have tasks and resource assignment. Then the major milestone and the baseline target delivery dates. Milestones would be the zero duration, checkpoints, reasons to celebrate kind of activities, to ensure that you are following the right path, completion of a significant effort, completion of a significant report will be considered a milestone. A project communication plan. I've already shown you one of the templates and the reason why it is so important to have that communication plan upfront and ready prior to execution. The responsibility assignment matrix, the RAM, जिसके बारे में हमने human resource management के knowledge area में बात की थी. The risk management document, the issues management document, the change management document, the milestone chart, और जो सबसे important है वो project status plan template. Quality assurance document and the lessons learned. The above documents need to be in place to be ready to execute, manage and track your project performance. Work breakdown structure की हमने पहले भी बात की, मगर it is इसको emphasize करने के लिए we are going to re-look at this point in time, and hopefully some of the concepts that may not be very clear at that point in time should be very clear in your head by now. The WBS serves as the framework on which project is built and as the map for project execution. WBS focuses attention on project objectives and encourages detailed planning and documentation. It clarifies responsibilities and identifies elements for estimating work assignment. WBS is used throughout the project. It needs to be revised, just like every other project planning document, in event of any change or updates. And last but not the least, WBS is considered the cornerstone of quality project planning. अब हम आपके साथ जो शेयर करने जा रहे हैं, consider that the blood flowing through the veins of project management. That means if you would learn the art of filling up these templates appropriately, then half of the battle is already won. You will show that you are a confident and educated project manager, that you know and understand the project management processes. The set of templates that we will be sharing with you are considered industry best. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, there's always room for changes, but even if you use these templates as starting point and as a baseline for documentation of each of these areas, then again, like I said, you have actually won half the battle even before execution starts. ये template को समझना होगा, इस template को fill करने की आदत डालनी होगी in practicality and in real life. Your assignment for the purpose of PRM 700 will be to use any project. You can create a hypothetical project, you can use a case study, you can go around, and if you're not actively working in an organization, you can go out and create a set of activities to do a certain project. Based on those WBS, based on that hypothetical project, you will fill out each of these templates. This will give you an idea of what to do, and it will also create a comfort level for using these documents. As an assignment, you would need to fill all these templates out and send to for verification and for marking purposes. We will be looking at some of these. For the purpose of this class, I don't want to focus on the performance management plan at that much. It is very specific to the social sector. So we will focus on everything else. Obviously, the performance management plan, because it's NGO specific, we will give you access to it, but using it or not using it will be at your own discretion. Let's start off with a project charter. पहला जो process है उसमें initiation phase में, it's creation of a project charter along with identification of stakeholders. Project charter, it's a document that formally authorizes a project or phase and documenting initial requirements that satisfies the stakeholders' needs and expectations. Project sponsor signs the charter so the project could go in planning phase. Charter के बारे में हमने पहले भी बात की है, मगर charter at that phase is the responsibility of the project team along with the customer. You haven't spent any time and you don't have the resources to do additional planning, so you are reliant on what the customer is telling you, and you are taking all that information and putting that in a formal piece of documentation. And that piece of documentation comes out as a signed and committed document that you can use to apply more resources and go from initiation to the planning phase of the project. We have developed a general project charter template which can be customized. So this would be the project charter template. If I look down, let's read what the project charter template says. Every document should have a section dedicated to explaining the purpose of the document. The project charter will serve as an internal document that captures high-level planning information, scope, deliverables, assumptions about the project. The project manager will create the project charter in the initiation phase of the project in consultation with the business manager. The purpose is to recognize the existence of the project and to begin the planning process required to accomplish the goals. It is not intended to be shared with the customer as a formal contract or a legal document. The project charter is an input to the definition phase of the project, where much of the information contained will form the basis for detailed project planning. अब project charter है, ये template है. That means within the organization, every project that your team will be undertaking, they will all have these headers and placeholders to put in the information. So the first thing that you need to go out and find and grab from the customer's mouth and words is to put in very specific words describing your project goal. This describes the business need, opportunity, or the problem that the project is undertaking. That means it is the justification of why this particular project is being done. The deliverables. All these templates should have their own definition. Understand that you should try to fill each and every of these headers. When you don't have the content to put in any of these spaces, do not try to delete them. Put not applicable, so that the template stays the same, and if the customer or if your performing organization will question why this information is not there, you can explain, or if you get that information later on in the project life cycle, then you will know where to put that information in the initial document. So there's a place in the charter for deliverables. There's a place in the charter for scope definition. Out of scope, in scope, the document, the scope of work to be delivered, any documentation such as the RFP, the sale proposal, the business requirements, functional specs, anything that sets and limits the scope of your project needs to go in under this tab. It is very specific to what the project will include and very specific to the project will not include certain things. The next one is the project milestones. Identify any significant project milestones, including invoicing dates to the client. Milestones should always be, to begin with, end of each phase, or any other very significant reasons to celebrate, like I say. The next one is assumptions, any constraint or dependencies that we know at that point, at this particular point in time. Anything that we know from our conversations or the surveys or the questionnaires that we've shared with the customer. Number 6 is any related document. The customer can actually give you any specifications, technical drawings, their own methodologies of what they want to do, or any other documents that you as a performing organization could have collected from working on similar or related kind of projects. All those documentations can be put in as an attachment or as links under this little tab, related documents. Number 7 is the organizational structure. At this point in time, it is very important because it's the initiation phase of the project, and another process is identification of stakeholders. This will be a good place to actually put in the key stakeholders' names, their functions, and their role within the organization. It will give you an understanding of who will be constituting or making your change control board, or who will be the right sponsor or the right person when there is a technical issue. You may want to put in their email addresses or their telephone numbers for contact purposes too within this little tab. And the last one will be the approval, the authorization section. Every tangible piece of document needs to have a place for approval where people will sign in and provide their own commitment. And who is committing to it? The business manager, the customer sponsor or your own project sponsors, and the project manager. With this, let's move on to the next template. The project communication plan. Many experts say that the greatest threat to the success of any project is a failure to communicate. Project plan itself is the most meaningful communication vehicle in the entire arsenal. Communication plan should be a comprehensive plan. जब हम project communication knowledge area की बात कर रहे थे, तो I have already shared a communication template with you. This time, the look and feel of the document is the same, and as part of your assignment, a part of the charter that you've developed for a real project or a hypothetical project, you will fill out this particular communication plan template. Your project communication plan template. Something that you have already seen, but let's go through it again. Your deliverable and your description is the first column. You can have the same as a starting point, add some more, or stick to this. Even as part of your assignment, I would suggest that you restrict yourself to a very simple project with very simple scope. It could be arranging an event. It could be construction of a house. It could be something as simple as arranging a dinner party or creating a gym. Whatever suits your need, try to come up with an example that is simple, realistic, and has a boundary so that you can start it off and you can end it off, and you would know some of the issues or changes that can come up in that particular scenario. So focusing on the communication plan, the deliverables and the descriptions, the status reports need to go out because there will be a customer that you will try to justify your project to, the team meeting, sponsor meeting, change control board. The next column will be your type of communication. Is it mandatory? Mandatory word meaning compulsory. Is it only marketing? Or is it only informational? Target audience, owner, the end users. Put in the roles. Avoid names because obviously names will not make any sense unless and until you're going to attach the roles of those individuals. So for the target audience, stick to the roles of those individuals. Delivery method. Is it a telephone call? Is it a formal piece of document? Is it an email with the document attachment? What would be the delivery method? Or will it be a physical meeting where you actually get together, have a formal cup of tea, and discuss the issues? Delivery frequency. Is it once a month, once a week, once a quarter, once a year? And who's responsible for this particular deliverable? Generally, a project manager will be responsible for many of these deliverables, but that is not a necessity. Sometimes the customer would want to have a meeting for maybe bringing the project manager and the quality audit review team or the third-party consultants to ensure that the work is being done. For example, in a construction of a house, the customer will be responsible for bringing in the architect and the structure engineers to work with the contractor being the project manager who's responsible for execution and implementation in creating that house. The legends within the template are also provided to you so that there is no ambiguity about what those columns mean. Mandatory, marketing, informational, what is it, target audiences, identifying the target audience such as sponsors, managers, the steering committee, delivery frequency, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, exactly what I just explained. Good templates are self-explanatory. And these are wonderful templates. So, templates should always have places identifying and explaining the placeholders. Just as a reminder, there is a note at the bottom. When you have a meeting, all meetings will have an agenda, email, distributed prior to the meeting. Good project managers know, or good meeting facilitators know, that all meetings should have an agenda so that people can stay focused and there is no wastage of time. Good meeting facilitators also know that all meetings should have meeting minutes. Somebody documenting the processing of the meeting. And after the meeting, whoever the attendees are, and people who were on the list to be attending the meeting but may have missed it, they all receive something called meeting minutes with ownership of issues. So a good communication plan template for you. Moving on to the next template. The next template will be the responsibility assignment matrix. It's the RAM, a matrix that maps the work of the project as described in the WBS to the people responsible for performing the work as organizational breakdown structure. RAM, responsibility assignment matrix, is very important document so the project staff is very clear about the role and responsibilities. And responsibility is building into the term accountability. The project responsibility assignment matrix template. Like the name, the first column will be all of the activities or the descriptions. And then subsequent, who will be responsible for it? The project manager. Staff title, this is where you put in the roles of the individuals. Vendor would be the subcontractor or could be the subcontractor. And the owner or the customer. Obviously, this will need to be updated. Another word that you all need to be used to is RACI. R, responsible, accountable, consult or inform. So for any particular activity that is listed out here, the project manager could be either responsible, could be accountable, consult or inform. And these are the different. So each one of these people may fall into these different categories. whether they will be responsible for executing or implementing the task. They may or may not be accountable for the task. Most instances, the project manager will be accountable, not responsible for doing and executing that activity. If you have subject matter experts or consultants out there, then they will always usually have C next to their name, which is consult, as needed. The customer and the upper sponsors will usually have I under their name for most of these activities, to be informed. This is a very simple template, but when used appropriately in the beginning of the planning phase, actually uses the resource roles and responsibilities and is used for creating and assigning tasks to the resources. The next one, risk management document. So what is risk? Risk is an uncertainty that can have a positive or negative effect on meeting project objectives. रिस्क किस सिचुएशन में पॉजिटिव हो सकता है? Risk could be positive if during the implementation of activities you find out that there is a big project or a big change that can bring in more revenue to the implementers. That's a positive change. Or there could be multiple scenarios where risk could actually be very positive. अगर हम natural disaster की बात करते हैं तो flood is a negative thing. But the land fertility after flood or after flooding could be a potential outcome which can be very beneficial to some. किसी के लिए जो चीज़ तकलीफदेह हो सकती है, हो सकता है कि वो किसी के लिए पॉजिटिव भी हो. Risk management plan. A plan that documents the procedures for managing risk throughout a project. We're going to share with you a very simple template called the risk register. याद रखें, it's a very, very simple. Risk registers can be very complex. If you look at quantitative techniques of handling risk, they are very complex. There are certifications. There are individuals who are the experts in identifying and analyzing risks. So for your purposes or for the purposes of this class, we are going to give you a very simple qualitative document for capturing and identifying risks and somehow giving them a little bit of a chronological order. Risk register is a document that contains results of various risk management processes, often displayed in a table or a spreadsheet format. It's a tool for documenting potential risk events and related information. Project qualitative risk analysis. अगर हम देखें तो इस वक्त हमारे पास 5 कॉलम्स हैं. Some of this information will be explained to you when we will be covering the project risk management knowledge area. But at this point in time, for the purpose of your assignment, the first column will be identifying risks. And I've given you 3 or 4 examples to at least start the groundwork. So some of the risks could be customer sponsor too busy, not available for meetings, or CCB sign-offs. What common problem है? Our customer sponsor being too busy, obviously they are the big boss. Another one could be incomplete analysis may result in user interface problem. We were not allowed to go work with the customer for as long as we wanted to. We were limited to just 1 or 2 people providing us information. And now we know that we may or may not have received all of the required information, which we know that will cause issues later on during the implementation phase. So that's a risk right now. और हो सकता है कि उन्होंने जितनी information provide किया that will be very sufficient. Again, that's a risk. हो सकता है ये issue ना हो. Financial commitment बहुत बड़ा एक risk हो सकता है किसी भी project में. Last payment for initiation phase was delayed significantly. अभी हम प्लानिंग फेज में आए हैं और पहले फेज के लिए ही पेमेंट हमको 6 हफ्ता लेट मिली है. So what's the guarantee and what's the security that the customer will continue to pay us at the right instances? So we see that as a risk and we would like to identify that as a risk. अभी हम प्लानिंग फेज में ही हैं और कस्टमर ने चेंजेस रिक्वेस्ट करना शुरू कर दिए हैं स्कोप में, अल्टीमेट गोल में, and obviously at this point in time it's not an issue because we are just going into the planning phase, but I as a project manager see that as a potential risk. अब हम 3 चीज़ों को देखते हैं. For every identified risk, in this case let's say we have identified 4 risks. हर रिस्क को हम 3 चीज़ों में probability of it happening, impact of when it happens and exposure to the project. इन तीनों कैटेगरीज में हम इनको लो, मीडियम, लो, मॉडरेट और हाई में डाल सकते हैं. The probability is high, moderate और low. क्या probability है कि ये चीज़ होगी? Impact, अगर ये होता है, if this risk happens, if I see this risk, और अगर इस तरह का रिस्क सचमुच में हमको अफेक्ट करता है तो इसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा टू माई प्रोजेक्ट. एंड देन एक्सपोजर, हाउ विल माई कंपनी बी एक्सपोज्ड. एक लेते हैं फाइनेंशियल कमिटमेंट जिसकी हमने बात की. द प्रोबेबिलिटी इज प्रोबेबली अ लो, मगर कस्टमर ने अब हमको लास्ट इनिशिएशन फेज की पेमेंट थी काफ़ी देर के बाद की, तो द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ देम पेइंग मी नाउ आफ्टर माय प्लानिंग फेज इज प्रोबेबली हाई. इम्पैक्ट, इट्स अ स्मॉल प्रोजेक्ट, 4 लोग हैं, अगर 1 हफ्ता या 2 हफ्ता डिले भी हो गया तो कोई इतना बड़ा मसला नहीं है. वी कैन कंटिन्यू टू वर्क ऑन द प्रोजेक्ट. सो द इम्पैक्ट टू माई प्रोजेक्ट कुड बी मॉडरेट. द एक्सपोजर टू माई प्रोजेक्ट इन दिस केस, because we are such a small company, and if the customer declines to pay me for the work that has already been achieved, then exposure to my company, exposure to my organization in this case will be very high. For this, let's look at, there are 2 highs, and again qualitative risk analysis means subjective analysis of it. I'm going to look at all the 3 because I haven't worked on the 4th one, so let's give it some kind of an order. If I look at the first 3, then the 3rd one has 2 highs, so it's number 1. The next one that has 1 high is the first example. Customer, I have set up 2 meetings and the customer has always shown up late or never showed up. So number 2. The 3rd one is a low, moderate and moderate. 3. अगर ये 4 होते तो हम 4 के भी हाई, मॉडरेट और लो करते. probability, impact or exposure, and depending on that it would have been 1, 2, 3 and 4. जितने भी risks होते हैं उसको हम chronological order में डाल देते हैं based on the high, moderate or low, and by using our own subjective decision or decisive power and our understanding at that point in time. Very, very simple, but at the same time a document which can be used for identifying risks and maybe coming up with a mitigation strategy in some other form of document. But from identification purposes, this will be an ideal document to start yourself off. The next one will be the issues management document. Risk is an event that hasn't happened. That means I see some fear factor for myself and for my project, but it hasn't occurred. So the issues management document are the issues or the risks that have become a problem now. The definition of an issue will be a matter under question or dispute that could impede your project success. When risk occurs or happens, it becomes an issue. Issues management template, जिस पे हम जाते हैं, documents all issues and how they should be resolved. The issue management template हो सकता है आपको लगे कि थोड़ा सा complex है, मगर issues को document करना भी एक बहुत important काम है. ठीक है, पहला जो column है, it's priority. The definition, it's an Excel spreadsheet, so you can actually see the priority, the critical, high, medium or low. इसको हमने colors भी दिए हैं, जिसका मतलब है red, that means it's critical. हो सकता है कि अगर ये अभी एक दिन में या 2 घंटे में resolve नहीं हुआ तो मेरा project रुक सकता है. High, medium और low, everything is going as planned, but जब वो issue होगा या हो सकता है कि it can, if we do not tackle it right now, 2 weeks later it may become a medium or a high issue, or it could actually put a halt to my project progress. The next one is the issue description column. This is a placeholder where you can actually describe your issue. The next few important columns are assigned. Who would be the owner of this issue? Expected resolution. From date perspective, when do you think this issue needs to be resolved? ये issue कब resolve होगा वो हमको बाद में पता चलेगा, मगर based on the priority, expected resolution date. Next one is the escalation required. Escalation required. Do I need to involve the sponsors? Do I need to call the SHO of the Thana? Who needs to be involved? Or can I contain it within my own project team and myself? Agar critical hai, to most probably you need to escalate it and inform everybody else who's considered the upper management, so that when your project, or unfortunately if it gets delayed, then they will know what has happened. Next column is the impact summary. Impact of अगर issue हो गया और issue हो रहा है और हमने resolve नहीं कर सके under the expected resolution date, then what will be the impact to my project? The next column is the action steps. Always put a date. January 22nd, this is what happened. Go down, it's January 23rd. अगर उस issue पे हमने और काम किया है तो January 23rd हमने ये काम किया, January 24th, until the issue is closed. If you don't put the date, then you will know what has happened but not with the date stamp. Issue type. इस वक्त हमने issue type को 4 जगहों में डाल दिया है. You know, it's restricted because it's an Excel spreadsheet, it is restricted. Informational, procedural, system or other. Date the issue was identified. Associates ID हो सकता है email ID या कोई ID है किसी जिसने, if because it's a software, it's a Excel spreadsheet, it could be the username of the person. Entered by, who entered it. Usually project manager की responsibility नहीं होती है, जो owner होता है वो चला जाके कर सकता है, और अगर छोटा project है तो हो सकता है project manager खुद enter करे ये issues. The actual resolution date, एक तो था expected resolution date, और now जब वो issue close होता है तो हम उसमें actual resolution और actual closing date डाल देते हैं. फिर there's also a column for final resolution and rationale. What did we do? जिस तरह से हमने इस issue को close किया है, हो सकता है कि it will have an impact on other project or other processes. It's a good place to explain that, because जब हम इस issues management template को customer के साथ share करेंगे या अपनी organization में share करेंगे, they will know what has happened and what the impact of this resolution may be. बहुत प्यारा template है. पहला जो इसका tab है, it's instructions. Everything that I explained to you is explained within the template. Let's move on to the next set of template. Next one is the change management document. ऐसा कोई project नहीं है दुनिया में जहाँ changes नहीं होती हैं. हम कोई भी project करते हैं, there would always be changes in it. अगर कोई project manager बोले कि मेरे project में कोई change नहीं है, तो that is a situation where the project manager is living in fantasy world. एक तो risks हो गए, unforeseen events, things that haven't happened. When they happen, they become issues. Sometimes issues, the way they are closed and resolved, results in a change. Change to the initial scope, change to the timeline, change to the cost. No matter what it is, it will be, or it could be, a potential change. So when issues cannot be dealt with, they become changes. Change management is very important for the project, and it should be done through Change Control Board. What's the Change Control Board? To make sure that all changes that are being implemented are beneficial to the project. Because end users या project team members they don't see the strategic vision of the project. They come up with changes that may affect the triple constraints of the project. That means implementation of those changes will ultimately lead to delays in the project, or cost more money, or change the initial scope of the project. In that situation, somebody out there, most probably strategic owners of the project, sponsors, or upper management, that will have to sit down and analyze the change, and based on the vision and mission of the project, either agree to work or implement the change or discard the project. But it is the responsibility, any time there is a change that affects the triple constraints of the project, you should take that particular change to the Change Control Board with more information. I'll talk about the more information part. The Change Control Board would then be in a position to review it, try to get more answers, will give an opportunity to the project manager to estimate how long or how much it will take to implement the change, and then fix it, and then based on that information reject or approve the change. For a bigger change, we will look at something called a change request form. So for bigger changes, the change request form template needs to be filled out. The project name, the purpose of the change management plan, the goal, and the responsibilities, the process, all the related project documents, the roles, and within that, estimation of how long the change will take, associate cost, and then last but not the least, again, the authorization signature of who have agreed for me as a project manager to go ahead and implement the change. The signatures above will indicate an understanding of the purpose and content of the change by those who are signing it. And by signing of this document, they agree to this as the formal change management plan. But all changes are not significant enough to use such a formal change document. So let's look at another document that can be used as a simple guideline for recording and documenting every change. Change request log should be updated whether change request is approved or rejected. There are some very simple changes. It's a good idea to use this document for documenting all changes, simple or complex, approved or rejected. A simple document for recording these changes will be this Excel spreadsheet for the change request log is a very simple yet effective template. Any changes, hypothetically for your purpose for your assignment, put in at least 2 or 3 changes. There should be a change request number, change request form, the link to it electronically, or associated number or place where it is stored. The change description. What is the change? The priority of it. Is it a high, medium, or a low? Critical could also be a priority in there. Who requested it? The status of the change. Pending, approved, or denied. The next one will be the date. The last will be the resolution and the comments. So, for every change, you should use this log for documentation. Let's go back and look at the next template. The next template will be your milestone template. Milestone is a significant event on a project with 0 duration. The milestone chart has certain activities that need to be completed to move on to the next phase. Milestones serve as a marker to help in identifying necessary activities, setting scheduled goals, and monitoring the progress. The project milestone chart. It's a simple Word document. At the beginning of the planning phase or after the WBS has been created, you can list down events. Event 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can actually, for the purpose of your assignment, 3 or 4 will be good enough, significant enough. What month have they happened? Are they planned? or they've actually occurred. So the arrow, whether it is highlighted or not highlighted, will indicate whether the milestone has happened or it is still in a planned stage. Obviously, if you're using Microsoft Project, you will not use these templates, but again, just for identifying and highlighting major milestones and taking some kind of commitments from the customer, this would be an ideal document to take forward. Moving on to the next template. The most significant template out of everything that we have talked about is your project status plan template. It describes where the project stands at a specific point in time. Project status is generated periodically depending upon the length of the project as per the requirement. कोई ऐसा project नहीं है जहां ऐसी कोई requirement नहीं है जहां for you to provide a status report or performance review. Think of the project's customer or the sponsor. If they have 5 projects going on and the look and feel of every status report is different, what a nightmare situation will it be? So in this case, if we can create and implement a template, we will be able to describe in very clear words, and we know that where the placeholders are, to identify issues, changes, or risks with the project. Let's look at the template that we have out there for you to fill. I would like to spend a couple of minutes on this particular template. The project status report template. It has a place for project title, who the customer is, the date, reporting period of this status report. If it's a monthly, then for the month of January or for the month of April. If it is bi-weekly, then from 1st of January to 15th of January. It also has a place for project description. Within your project communication plan, I clearly said that the executive and the upward sponsors or upward management or the upward stakeholders are only interested in 3 things: green, yellow, or red. Are you on track? Do you need my help? Or have you stopped? The best one, everything is good and you are making progress as planned. In this case, for each one of these, the deliverables will be your activities. Are you on track? Schedule. I am performing, but I am 2 weeks late because I did not receive the machines. If I see these delays for next 2 weeks, then I can actually go into red. So I will mark myself as yellow with reason for deviation, that I am waiting for my resources. Scope. I am trying to meet my target, budget, all is good. I am making progress. Number 1, green. Project is within established scope and on schedule. Number 2, yellow. Project has deviated slightly from the plan. Number 3, that I am in a critical state and I need help right now. Project has fallen significantly behind schedule, is not tracking to established milestones, or has taken on tasks that are out of scope. An ideal situation in a project status report should be that you should have at least stayed in a yellow mode on either one of these criteria at least for 2 weeks before going into red. There are very few situations where you actually move from being green to automatically moving into the red zone. And you will be asked to justify why such a sudden movement from everything on track to being in a halted state. You have a placeholder for comments. The control and monitoring phase. Ideally, top 3 issues, significant issues impacting milestones, schedule or scope. Top 3 changes. Changes raised for consideration that change the approved project baseline. जिसके बारे में मैंने बात की थी अभी change template में कि अगर triple constraints को hurt कर रहा है तो it should have gone to the change control board, either should have been approved or denied. And then the top 3 changes should actually be put under your status report too. Then in the controlling phase, you will also see at least 2 or 3 risks. Report any major project risks. Risks are events that have not happened, but on the horizon you actually see something happening. The elections are happening, your project being a social sector project, or anything reliant on some of the government regulation policies. We could be in a risk state right now because 6 months later, if there is change in policy, then your project can get affected and then it will not stay a risk, it will become an issue. जिस तरह से रेड होने से पहले येलो होना ज़रूरी है, उसी तरह से most of the time good project managers would identify something as a risk before it becomes an issue. It's not always so, magar there is a good probability that you always see risks on the horizon before it actually hits you. The next placeholder will be your budget report. Again, depending on the confidentiality or the criticality of your project, you may or may not fill this out. Or if you do fill this out, make sure that the status report is not going out to each and every team member, and it is only going out to people on a need-to-know basis. Any scheduled milestones or deliverables, anything that you take out from the milestones template document, it could be anything. The milestone last revised, approved schedule, actual, current हो गया है, status क्या है, complete है, open है, जो भी है. Then accomplishments and plans. Look at these 2 important placeholders for you. Accomplishments during this reporting period. Be concise and be precise. It should relate to the milestones. And then what do you plan to do during the next reporting period? इन 2 हफ्तों और या इस महीने में क्या हमने अचीव किया रिपोर्टिंग पीरियड में और क्या प्लान है. अब जो अगला स्टेटस रिपोर्ट जाएगा, hopefully what you had planned is what you would have accomplished then. So it would be as simple as taking the last status report and moving it up front and then putting in 2 or 3 different activities that will be performed on the next reporting period. And like every other good template, it has a placeholder for signatures, project participants and project customer. चाहे ये virtual sign हो या physical sign हो, but there's a placeholder for actually putting in those signatures. Of all the templates, if you continue to follow and implement this template for your project, your customer is already a happy and informed customer, week in, week out. And happy customer is a mandatory matter for a successful project. With this, let's move on to the next template. The next one is the lessons learned report. These are reflective statements written by project managers and the team members to document important things they have learned from working on the project. It is a best practice to document the lessons learned on a periodic basis. अगर 6 महीने का project है तो at the end of the project you will do one lessons learned where you will bring in the team. They will sit down together and talk about things that went well versus things that did not go well. If it's a 2-year-long project, you should have a mid-project lessons learned. That is a placeholder to actually look at things, and you also have time to improve upon things that are not going very well. You do not want to wait till the end for such a long project. Let's look at the templates that we have out there for you. I have provided 2 templates for your use. You can use either one, whatever suits the need, or you can create a template of your own. The simplest template will be 2 columns: SADs, things that did not go very well, and then GLADs, things that did go well. But try to restrict yourself for the purpose of the assignment to either one of these templates. The purpose of the lessons learned template is to help the project team share knowledge gained from the experience so that the entire organization may benefit. A successful lessons learned program will help project teams do 2 things: repeat desirable outcomes and avoid undesirable outcomes. Your project team should begin to use this document at its first project meeting. Continually recording lessons learned throughout the project is the best way to ensure that they are accurately recorded. Feel free to add to the list. Based on some projects, these are things that have been put out there. The lessons learned checklist is also available as a guide to further interactive discussion. Project management में इस तरह की चीजें हो सकती हैं: technical management, human factors, and overall. These are some of the things that we can use as guideline to understand what is going well versus what is not going well. At the end of your project, again based on what I told you, if it's a 6-month-long project, at the end of the project you will use this document to summarize your experience. During your discussions, be positive. Do not place blame. Focus on successes as well as failures. हम लोग समझते हैं कि lessons learned is always an opportunity to talk about things that did not go well. Well, it's also a place to talk about things that did go well. So, just like mistakes should not be repeated, the good things and good efforts should be repeated. Indicate which strategies contributed to success. Indicate which improvement strategies would have the greatest impact. If we go down, project journal, strategies that and processes that led to success. अब यहाँ पे हमारे पास opportunity है कि 3 या 4 things that went well and the areas of potential improvement भी 3 या 4 हम identify कर दें. Next one, the project closeout discussion. List project's 3 biggest successes. List the other successes that the team would like highlighted. हो सकता है कि 3 से ज़्यादा हो, और अगर नहीं है 3 से ज़्यादा, तो you will just put not applicable here. List areas of potential improvement along with high impact improvement strategies. Positive things, the GLADs. Negative things, the SADs. And then place for other comments. And then, like every other template, a place for others to put their signatures authorizing and committing that the lessons learned meeting has happened and we all agree and have reviewed the contents of that template. बहुत simple है, थोड़ा सा शायद आप लोगों को कॉम्प्लेक्स लगे जिन्होंने कभी इस तरह के टेम्पलेट्स को यूज नहीं किया है, but let's look at other templates. This particular template, the previous one was very high level. ये वाला थोड़ा सा detailed है. If you don't want to fill it out for the purpose of the assignment, that will be fine. However, learn to use this. Under project planning, you can actually put in yes or no and then the impact of it on a scale of 1 through 5. All those activities under the project plan are listed here. Then some activities, obviously you can always add in more or delete some. Deleting is not a good idea. You should always put in not applicable, and you can always add more. Under the project execution and delivery, these are some of the processes. It went well or did not go well, yes or a no, not applicable, the impact of it. Human factors, सबसे ज़्यादा जो होता है वो number 29 है. Project manager was effective, yes or no. If it was a yes, you will put an X here and then rank it from effectiveness level from 1 to 5. एक और चीज़, resources were consistently committed to the project aims, yes or a no, and then 1 through 5, the effectiveness of it. Going down, the overall, अगर हम overall lessons learned की बात करते हैं तो overall change control was effective. Technology chosen was appropriate, yes or a no. If yes, then when? No, then was it a 1 or was it a 5, whatever it is. The project was a technological success, yes or a no, and then you sign it out. Either one of those lessons learned document, ये वाला will form the basis to feed into the next template. If you think that you have enough information and you don't need the basis document, then you can actually go out and fill the first one. Let's go out and look at other documents. From the templates perspective, this is all we have to share with you. It is enough to get you started, and remember, you can always go back, improve upon these documents. But if you learn how to use these effectively, you've already won the battle, or at least won half the battle. Project planning. The purpose of good project planning is to ensure that all detailed plans for managing the project are defined. Formal commitments are established and the team is ready to execute. Effective project planning is equal to readiness for performance. Your project planning checkpoints. As a project manager, you must do several things. Validate your financial commitment to the business, set expectation with the client and project sponsor, recognize that this is a hard go, no-go decision. Have your project team committed to the plan. Be ready to be accountable for the project execution. Planning is a crucial point in the project life cycle when you decide if the project is ready to commit to future execution tasks. Golden quote: if you fail to plan, you are actually planning to fail. And with that note, remember that project managers are responsible for cost, project profit, project team efficiency, project expenses, quality control, and so on and so forth. Many more other things. At the end of the project planning process, your business executives would decide if your project can or should target meeting specific business objectives. With that, let me reiterate your assignment. The assignment will be taking a case study or a project that you may be working on currently or have worked on, or any hypothetical situation. You will take that particular scenario and use that to create a high-level WBS, list of activities. The WBS that you may or would create, that you may have obtained from the project that you have worked on already, or create certain activities. Based on the WBS or based on the scenario, you will fill out the appropriate documentation, starting with the project charter document. Moving on to the communication plan. The issues, the risks, the changes, the responsibility assignment matrix, the milestone, the status report, and then concluding with the lessons learned. All the templates that I had shared with you should be used. The results should be submitted and will be reviewed and marked as part of your grade. Good luck to you, and Allah Hafiz.